مجمعين وبعد، فهذه ليلة الجمعة ليلة عظيمة مباركة يسن فيها الإكثار من الصلاة على سيدي ومولاي رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه من كل عمل صالح. The night of Jumu'ah is a blessed night. Allah barakah in this night increase. The sunnah is to increase your salah upon the Prophet عليه الصلاة والسلام and all good deeds. يروي الإمام ابن حبان في صحيحه بسند صحيح عن أبي موسى الأشعري رضي الله عنه. So the hadith tonight is a collection of Imam Ibn Hibban in his Sahih. Now there are a few scholars of hadith who made collections and called them Sahih, aside from Al-Bukhari and Muslim, and Ibn Khuzaymah is one of them, and Ibn Hibban is another one, and there's a few others. And aside from Al-Bukhari and Muslim, the other collections that are called Sahih, not all of the hadith within them are. Ibn Hibban is probably one of the better ones, meaning the majority of his hadith are, but there are ones that are not, which is why we have to, whenever you narrate a hadith from Ibn Hibban or Ibn Khuzaymah, then you need to make sure that a scholar of hadith has authenticated it, because it's not by default. In Bukhari and Muslim, because of the number of scholars who have authenticated those collections, meaning those collections have been studied historically over 10 times by at least 25 different scholars of hadith, and they have looked at it time and time again, and there's nothing within those collections that are not authentic, so you don't need to point out the authenticity. You can just say it's in Bukhari and Muslim and you're good to go. But the other ones, you need someone to look, you need a scholar of hadith to take a look at the chain of narration to make sure that it's authentic. Here's why, I just wanted to point that out in case anyone was wondering. And the hadith is within the theme of outreach and da'wah. And this one here is interesting because you get to hear from the Prophet ﷺ what his advice would have been to you if you were going to actually perform da'wah yourself. If you're being sent to perform da'wah, or to teach, or to educate, or to bring people to Islam, then here's what the Prophet ﷺ has said to two people who were on their way to do this. So what he said, قال لما بعثه النبي عن أبي موسى الأشعري أنه لما بعثه النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ومعاذ بن جبل إلى اليمن قال, when he said, Musa said, when the Prophet ﷺ sent me and Mu'adh ibn Jabal, and subhanAllah, they're very different in age. Abu Musa is much older than Mu'adh, and he sent someone who was quite advanced in age, in his probably 50s at the time, and Mu'adh was in his mid-20s. So he sent them to go, and the people of Yemen were asking for educators and teachers. Not all of Yemen had accepted Islam, but enough of them where it was safe for them to go, and they were going to go there, and they were going to perform da'wah and teach, and they did, and that's why all of Ahl Yemen accepted it eventually. But this is what he said to them, عليه الصلاة والسلام. قال بشرا ويسرا وعلما ولا تنفرا وتطاوعا. He said عليه الصلاة والسلام, بشرا, bring good news of glad tidings, and give people reason to be positive and optimistic. Give them reasons to do better, to be better. That's what tabshir means. Tabshir is to give someone a positive reason to be a better person, to try harder, to look forward to something. Looking forward to something. Many psychologists, by the way, say that's what happiness is. It's just having something good to look forward to. That's it. I know it's a really stupid definition, but if you think about it, there's some merit to it. Like there's some degree of truth to that. Just having something good to look forward to. So bashira, tabshir is just giving people something positive to look forward to. Bashira. Wayassira, and bring ease. Bring ease. Your teachings must bring ease. The teachings have to bring ease. It can't bring the opposite. when you're performing da'wah, and the outcome of your teachings has to be that this will bring ease to you. Your life, if your life is difficult, or you're finding difficulty, or you're struggling, Islam will bring you ease. Not the opposite. Islam was never designed to make your life difficult, ever. That comprehension of it, that perception of it is extremely flawed. Very, very flawed. And it comes obviously from we know where it comes from. This culture has built certain ways of thought. But Islam was never, it's not like that. And that's not the truth of it. No, this is the ultimate ease. It's not ease, it's the ultimate ease. Bring people ease. Bring people ease. وَعَلِّمَا, and teach. وَلَا تُنَفِّرَ, and don't repel people away. Don't do something that will send someone walking away. Don't behave in a certain manner. Don't speak in a certain manner. Do not do something don't be a bad representative of this deen. And when someone's trying to come close and you do something and then they walk away, don't do that. وَتطاوعا, and work together. Work together. Yes, you're obviously not going to agree on everything. You're 50, he's 25. Ever seen a 50 and 25-year-old get a go on it? No, they don't. They're two different generations. They're completely different generations, have completely different understanding of a lot of things. لكن تطاوع. Mutawa'a is where I compromise one day and you do it the next day. And we figure it out and we make sure that we're showing each other a certain degree. When you're working in da'wah and when you're trying to bring people to Islam, you have to have that mentality with the people who are working with you, with the Muslims who are at the front lines as well, like you. Don't do this by slandering those who are doing this with you because they disagree with you on something or you differ with them on something. That's not healthy. Tatawa'a, work with people. Obviously, you and I are not going to agree on everything. Obviously. That is, if we did, then there's something wrong. One of us is lying. It's impossible. We can't agree on everything. We're going to disagree. Sometimes on stuff that matter. Sometimes on stuff that matter, but we agree on so many other things. Like the 99% of Islamic faith that we agree upon, we should definitely focus on that piece. Tatawa'a, work together. Don't become enemies. It's very easy when two people are doing the same thing for there to be unhealthy competition in the midst of it. It's very easy, but not in da'wah. It shouldn't be in da'wah. I love this advice from him, alayhi salatu wasalam. Give people something good to look forward to. Bring them ease. Educate them of things they can benefit from. Don't repel them and work together. What more do you need for da'wah? That's what. قال فلما ولي معاذ. When Mu'adh became a little bit more, meaning it worked out and we had more status, and Mu'adh actually became a judge, and his presence, Abu Musa, was no longer needed there anymore, and he wanted to come back and visit his family. And Wali, meaning Mu'adh, was in charge, but he left. فعدت فقلت يا رسول الله. He came to the Prophet عليه الصلاة والسلام with a question. And this hadith, obviously, this piece is not necessarily a part, but I wanted to narrate to you. And he قال إن لهم أهل اليمن إن لهم شرابا من العنب يطبخ حتى يعقد والمرز من الشعير. You see, Ahl al-Yaman, they cook their grapes in a certain way and they let it sit. And they make nabidh from barley. Like they make these drinks, and I don't know what to do. We obviously, he and Mu'adh were not agreeing on exactly what the fatwa on this was, whether this was halal or haram to drink, because they were processing this in a certain way. So the Prophet ﷺ, who didn't know exactly what they were doing either, he gave them, and I love this about him ﷺ, he gave them a basic law. قال كل ما أسكر عن الصلاة فهو حرام. Anything that intoxicates you to the point where you can't be clear in your prayer is haram. Anything that intoxicates your brain so you can't focus anymore is haram. So now Abu Musa knows it's not just based on whether you cooked it or you left it, it's based on the actual content of it. So they have to go back and take a look and see what it's like. But they disagreed. They didn't agree on everything. That's normal. And they still listened to him, alayhi salatu wasalam. Tatawa'a, they worked together. They didn't focus on those pieces because there's more to this picture than that. I think that's a beautiful a teaching point from him, alayhi salatu wasalam, when it comes to performing da'wah that we can all benefit from. I hope that was beneficial to you. يروي الإمام ابن حبان في صحيحه بسند صحيح عن أبي موسى الأشعري أنه لما بعثه رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم ومعاذ بن جبل إلى اليمن قال لهما بشرا ويسرا وعلما ولا تنفرا وتطاوعا. فلما ولي معاذ عدت فقلت يا رسول الله إن لهم شرابا من العنب يطبخ حتى يعقد والمرز من الشعير. فقال صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم كل ما أسكر عن الصلاة فهو حرام. صدق رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. سبحانك الحمد لله لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا وحبيبنا محمد وصحبه أجمعين. جزاكم الله خير. بارك الله فيكم. We'll see you inshallah tomorrow for Jumu'ah at 2:30 sharp inshallah.